hours. I'm the head of department here at the Department of Security and Crime Science. And so just a very warm online welcome to you all. Please do feel free at any point when you have a question to put it into the chat. Probably the best way of us doing it is for us to collect information and questions that you've got. And we will go through a question and answer session at the end of this evening's event, and so please don't try and keep them in your head. So if you just want to put a question in the chat, please feel free to do so, and we might answer it. But if we don't, we'll come to it at the end. Just to introduce what we're going to be doing this evening. A brief agenda here is I'm going to give you a little introduction to the department, and then what we're going to do is we're going to run through each of the different programs that we have at MSc level, and I'm going to introduce you to the program directors who will be taking you through what the exciting elements of their programs are and what the idea of the curriculum is, and some information on careers. And then we'll come back together and talk more generally about careers, scholarships and bursaries. Then we're very grateful to Katie, who is joining us to give you a little bit of a insight into what it's like being a student with us. So thank you very much, Katie. And then we're going to move to our Q&A. So just to introduce the department, first of all, obviously we're within UCL, and one thing to understand in terms of context is that we're in the engineering sciences faculty. Obviously, UCL is a very world-renowned university. I'm sure you've researched that, and you know that it had really good, strong foundations back in 1826, and we're going to be very excited that we're coming up to a big event, our bicentenary next year. So there should be a really good buzz around the university and its achievements at that point. We are, among the very best in the world. We've got, in terms of UCL, we're always in the top 10 in the QS World Rankings. At the moment, we're 9th in the world. We're also really strong as a UK university in terms of our research portfolio. We're 2nd in the UK for research power, so we're a very powerful research organisation as a university. Last year we were also the University of the Year in Times and Sunday Times Good University Guide. So we really do speak to the kind of idea of being a university that has developed over time and has really good founding principles. We were the first university in the UK and in the world to introduce people into the curriculum, regardless of their gender and regardless of their ethnicity and their social conditions. So Jeremy Bentham, who you will probably have heard of, you can come and visit today at UCL, and his principles of being inclusive and being fair and also thinking disruptively are traditions of the university still today. So we are in the engineering sciences faculty. We're along with 9 other departments, and security and crime science is very intentionally in the engineering sciences faculty. People sometimes ask us why we're located in engineering sciences. The short answer is that it's because, like engineers, we're problem solvers. We just happen to be problem solvers for real world problems out there in security and crime science terms, rather than perhaps looking at biochemical engineering or those sorts of problems that traditional engineering raises. But we really do sit with the same spirit, which is that engineering crime science is all about solving real world problems and coming up with real world solutions that make an impact out there on the safety and security of the country, but also we have international reach as well. So we are in engineering faculty. Crime science as a discipline, we began at UCL here as the Jill Dando Institute of Crime Science. Probably most of you now are too young to remember much about Jill Dando, but she was a BBC Crime Watch presenter, and she was really sadly shot on her doorstep. And as a result, her presenter, Nick Ross, decided to start up a public appeal in her name to produce a new type of institute, which was really focused on very practical crime prevention. And that is where we have the foundations of crime science as a discipline. The idea is to bring together scientific practice from all sorts of different disciplines together to focus on solving particular crime problems that we know are real world crime problems that we can do things about. And we always do this with practitioners in mind, and actually with collaborative practice. We talk to lots of different practitioners about the kind of work we do. You'll come across many of those practitioners as part of your study with us. We were actually formed as a department in our own right, in an academic department in our own right in 2009. We've launched enough master's programs, and we've got an undergraduate program, and the department is where the kind of administrative centre is for the teaching programs that we run. We've got lots of research centres as well. So we have, for example, a centre for forensic sciences. We've got a centre that is funded by the Doors Foundation, which focuses on future crime problems. We have one that's very focused on policing. We've got one that looks at crime in Latin America and the Caribbean, and that brings an international element to what we've done. And we also have doctoral training centres, and we're just having a new one in progress, which means there's going to be a lot of PhD places and interest about our new topic, which is looking at cyber physical risks. So anyway, crime science itself is as we said, very much focused on crime and security problems at its heart. And what sometimes happens, or often happens, is that certain disciplines come together to look at it. We might have sociology, psychology, and law traditionally being those things that come into criminology practice. But the idea of crime science being different is we bring together all these different approaches from different fields. So it's not just limited to what you might find in a more traditional criminology department. We bring together ideas from engineering, from computer science, and we think about science and security in a very scientific way. And actually the way that we study it is really thinking about hypothesis testing. How can we use science to fix these crime and security problems by coming up with good hypotheses about what's going to work, and then really studying them from a scientific point of view. As I said, crime science is different, and one of the reasons why is because we're this focus on crime reduction, this focus on thinking in a scientific way, and bringing together disciplines, but also working directly with policymakers, police, and related agencies is a really key element of what we do. And because of the fact that we do this all the time, it means that you're going to be, you have the benefit coming to us of having a large number of chances to engage with practice. And also you'll see that a lot of people who move through crime science at a master's level end up going into practice careers as well. So what we work on broadly, we've got a number of different types of research groups that we have, and they focus on slightly different topics. But as you can see, the range of topics are really contemporary problems in the crime landscape and security landscape. So it's really important that we're researching and looking into cybercrime, into forensic science, into terrorism, into human trafficking. These are all really key elements of what we need to be doing to make society safer. As a result of this practice on this research excellence, we can integrate a lot of this thinking into our master's programs, and that's one of the reasons why it's so cutting edge from the point of view of keeping you up with what's important in practice when it comes to security and crime science. You'll see if you come and study with us, we have our main building at Tavistock Square, but we have got other places. We've got a secure data lab where you can access information that you wouldn't be able to in different university settings, because it's completely air gapped, and it means that we can offer people dissertations using very secure data sources. We've got the engineering building. We've got a number of different types of labs that we've been developing more recently, and this means that you're going to have an experience that is again different from other criminology departments, because we can really focus on doing experiments, and we can focus on immersive technologies and forensic science in practice. And then we have Shropshire House, which is where our PhD students are located. I'm going to not say very much more at this point, other than to introduce to you the fact that we've got the different teaching programs, and hopefully you've come with an interest on for one of these different MSCs that have been listed this evening. And as I said, each of the program directors will be taking you through those in more depth. Just one thing that I'd like to say at this point is what we really want you to be able to expect from us is this really multidisciplinary learning experience where, you know, you're going to be using new technologies, you're going to be learning about different subjects and why they're so key and appropriate from the point of view of us understanding security problems. You get taught by world leaders in the field across the board at master's level. If you come to us, we've got a very challenging curriculum. Don't be fooled by the fact that you think that it's going to be an easy year. In many ways, it's challenging, but that's exactly how it should be, because you do lots of really good learning, and it really helps with your development of skills for your next stage of your career. And finally, we think we put on a very good student experience, and this is a different level, of course, but our NSS results really do show people that the experience that people have with us, they're very pleased with the engagement and the activities that they have as a student when they're studying with us. Right, so just really quickly, and I'm not going to go into very much depth on this because each of our different directors will do that. But one thing that is important to think about is, you know, we've got a dedicated careers team who are going to be able to help you in after you've graduated and offer one-to-one coaching. What I think I'll do at this stage is I'm going to stop here, and I'll come back to some of these ideas a bit later on when you've heard a little bit more in depth about what you might be able to expect from a careers point of view. So I'm going to, for now, stop sharing, and I'm going to ask my colleague Kevin Chetty to load up his slides, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about our MSc in crime science programs and the different alternatives that you've got in terms of different routes on that program. So welcome, Kevin, and hopefully you'll be able to share your slides.
Yeah, thanks, Kate. I think you just have to take your slides off, and then it should allow me to.
I've done that now, thank you.
Okay, just give me a second. Right, can you see my screen?
We can. At the moment, it's not in.
Okay.
It's.
Is it in presenter mode, or is it in
presenter mode?
It's got the notes are still showing, so you might switch to display settings.
You have to go into settings.
So go on display settings up there.
Okay,
at the top of the screen.
Top of the screen, display settings.
Left, or with your cursor.
Left.
Yes.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. And
swap.
Is that right?
Have you done it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about the delay. Okay. Hello, everyone. So for this first presentation, I'm going to cover 4 of our MSc programs. The MSc in Crime Science, which is our longest running MSc program, and then what we call the specialized routes. And they are MSc Crime Science with Data Science, MSc Crime Science with Cybercrime, and MSc Crime Science with Serious and Organized Crime. And at the end, I'm going to briefly mention the diploma in crime science and certificate in crime science, security and crime science. And these are basically just scaled back versions of the MSc in crime science. So I'll just give a kind of short overview of how they differ and the kind of key differences. Okay, so the first thing I think you might ask is, what is a crime scientist and what does a crime scientist do? And I suppose at its core, crime science is all about reducing crime and increasing security. So crime scientists work in various areas, from human trafficking and devising counter-terrorism strategies and protecting our national critical infrastructures, right through to designing solutions to tackle online crime and looking at ways to reduce knife crime. But to achieve these objectives, crime scientists, they kind of possess a specific set of skills. We are analytical and we use scientific and evidence-based and data-driven approaches to critically assess problems and to develop new techniques that prevent criminal behavior. As Kate said, we're also problem solvers. So we leverage some of the latest technologies and cutting edge thinking to translate some of our research into real world practical applications that have immediate impacts. And it's also important that we prioritize responsible and ethical use of data and technology. So just getting on to the MSc programs now. The MSc Crime Science degree will allow you to become a specialist in the field of crime science. So it will equip you with the skills to develop data-driven strategies to prevent crime and more effectively detect and arrest offenders. You'll also learn how to think critically about complex and evolving crime issues, and you'll become proficient in a kind of advanced statistical analysis and quantitative methods to be able to design robust research projects, which will kind of form part of your dissertation. Throughout the program, you'll have the opportunity to explore real life case studies, and this will allow you to kind of develop a deeper understanding of some of the theories and applications of crime prevention. One standout feature one standout feature of this program is the ability to shape your degree program to your career aspirations and interests. So it offers lots of flexibility, and I'll kind of mention that again when I talk about the structure. Next slide. Okay, so the next program is the MSc Crime Science with Data Science route. And this offers the opportunity to immerse yourself in the practical and real world changing kind of technologies, such as things like machine learning, natural language processing, and kind of statistical and spatial analysis. And as part of the program, you'll learn how to find, complex and access complex data through advanced collection techniques, things like text mining and web scraping. You'll also be able to explore multivariate statistical analysis to look at data sets, large data sets, to identify trends and relationships kind of between them and within them. And as part of the kind of interactive computer lab sessions which we run, you'll explore how things like virtual reality and agent-based models are used to analyze decision and kind of offender decisions and behavior. And you'll also be able to kind of improve your programming skills as you undertake these computer lab sessions. One key feature of this program is that you'll work with kind of world-leading research and academics, and be able to kind of apply that in real-world settings across the physical, social, and social sciences and humanities. The third MSc program is Crime Science with Cybercrime, and here you'll develop technical skills and use software tools to design and test secure systems. You'll also be able to kind of build comprehensive understanding of how the online underground economy works and the drivers and methods of cyber criminal operations. And the rapidly evolving technical and legal challenges which are being faced by law enforcement agencies and the courts. You'll also get a chance to employ multidisciplinary approaches to identify cyber pinch points and to be able to disrupt criminal activities. And one key feature of this program is that you'll be able to undertake specialist modules in different UCL departments, and that includes UCL Computer Science and UCL STEEP, which is the Science, Technology, Engineering and Public Policy department. Finally, we have our MSc Crime Science with Serious and Organised Crime. And this program will allow you to critically evaluate the manifestation of organised crime and devise evidence-based strategies in response. As you kind of navigate the program, you'll examine things like group structures and governance models found in organised crime and be able to develop sophisticated conceptual understanding of how crime groups embed themselves in our communities and social infrastructures. You'll also develop tools to help tackle specific organised crime activities like human trafficking, smuggling and exploitation. And a key feature of this program is that you'll work closely with the UCL Terrorism and Serious Organised Crime Group, who have a world-leading impact and are well-known kind of throughout the world. So kind of a core research group in this area. Okay, so thinking about the program structure, for all of the MSc courses which I mentioned, to complete the course, you require 180 credits. And these programs are structured around a number of compulsory and optional modules, which means that you can, again, personalize your learning based on your interests and career aspirations. So for the modules, you'll require 120 credits out of the total 180. And you can see here that MSc Crime Science has 4 compulsory modules and 4 optional modules. So it gives students the most flexibility to choose a kind of pathway that aligns with their own career interests and kind of areas that they want to kind of get more involved in. And by their very nature, the specialized routes have less optional modules because those kind of particular specialisms are mapped within those 6 compulsory modules, but it still offers a level of flexibility through the 2 optional modules. Then those 8 modules which you take, which are a combination of compulsory and optional modules, will give you those 120 credits, and then you make up the 180 with the final dissertation project, which is worth 60 credits. It's probably a good point to raise the diploma and certificate, which I mentioned early on at this point. So the diploma in crime science is 120 credits. So that equates to 8 modules, but not the dissertation. So you can do the diploma just by taking the 8 modules, but not the dissertation. And the certificate in security and crime science is 60 credits, which is equivalent to 4 modules. So if you want to kind of apply for those qualifications, you can initially start off with less modules and not have to do a dissertation, but later on you can add, you can kind of move to the next stage. So there's not really enough time here for me to go through every single module, but I'd advise you to look on the prospectus page to explore the different compulsory and optional modules involved in our teaching programs. But what I thought I'll do here is just a very kind of whistle-stop tour of the different modules which we offer to offer you some insight into the different areas which we teach. So what I've got here is a thumbnail image and a short sentence just to summarize what each module entails. The first 4 here are, most of these form part of the compulsory modules within your program. Foundations of Security and Crime Science really lays the groundwork of the discipline. So everyone who comes into our master's program will take this module, and which will kind of prepare you for as you then go and take on the rest of the program. Designing and doing research is really focused on the dissertation project and gives you the skills to prepare and get ready for that large research type project towards the end of the program. And then we've got modules like preventing crimes and quantitative methods, which again typically form part of the compulsory set. Then we have a range of optional modules that include intelligence gathering and analysis, investigation and detection, crime mapping and spatial analysis, and perspectives on organised crime. We also have a set of cyber-focused modules, which are cybercrime and introduction to cybersecurity, and then a range of modules which are more quantitative in nature, like crime modeling and simulation, applied data science, and here we have understanding multivariate modeling and causal interference. We also have some modules which are focused on things like public policy and planning, like horizon scanning, which is very much about forecasting the future, and risk contingency planning. And then we have a new set of modules which we've just recently deployed, focused around new and emerging areas such as human trafficking, online extremism, and things like hate crime. So in terms of careers, these MSc courses provides you with kind of the preparation you need to join the ranks of a new generation of crime and security practitioners. And it will equip you with the specific knowledge and skills to qualify for high-level jobs in research, government organizations, industry, and things like the civil service, academia, tech companies, NGOs, and think tanks. And our graduates from the various programs have managed to find jobs in a number of different areas, which is shown here. So again, they range from government organizations, industry, academia, think tanks, etc. The entry requirements for the programs are a 2-2 in a relevant undergraduate degree. And when we say undergraduate degree, as Kate mentioned again, we're very multidisciplinary in nature. So we will take students with backgrounds from the social sciences, such as psychology, criminology, and sociology, right through to the STEM subjects like mathematics, computer science, and engineering. For those of you who don't have a first degree, you can apply for the program with 5 years of relevant work experience. So if you've had enough work experience in areas such as like a police officer or a data scientist, an intelligence analysis, or an IT security, then we can also consider your application. One bit of advice is that when you do apply, you have to write a personal statement. And I would say try and use your personal statement to convey your interest in the subject area and explain why you want to pursue this master's course. It's also quite important to kind of convey your willingness to take on the statistical and methods-based components of the program, which do form a core component. You can take the programs either as in full-time or as part-time, which can be between 2 and 5 years, depending on how you would like to structure it. And again, more details are on the prospectus page. We also offer distance learning options, and all the courses are modular. So as I mentioned, it's possible to register for the postgraduate certificate and then upgrade to the diploma by doing some further modules, and then maybe upgrading to the MSc by taking the dissertation. Okay, so that's it for me. I'll hand over. I'm not sure who I'm handing over to, but I'll come off and we'll move to the next person. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. I will take over from you. All right. Perfect. Yeah, so good evening, everyone. Welcome. My name is Sandy Schumann, and I'm the program director of the MSc and postgraduate diploma in countering extremist crime and terrorism. And I'm delighted to introduce these programs to you this evening. And I'm also excited to highlight why our programs are unique and maybe better than some of the other terrorism programs out there. So we developed this degree really in response to a changing nature of terrorism. Terrorism today is a hybrid threat, and it overlaps with other crime types like hate crime and extremist crime, and it's also strongly influenced by conspiracy theories and disinformation. So this program aims to equip our students with the knowledge, but also with the skills that are needed to analyze this new hybrid threat and to develop effective countermeasures. We do so by allowing our students to gain deep theoretical and conceptual understanding of terrorism and extremism. But we go beyond traditional terrorism programs in that we do not teach these frameworks and models for their own sake, but we teach them so you can tackle real-world problems. As Kate already mentioned, our department is strongly connected with policy and practice. Your professors and lecturers have experience in counterterrorism policing. They're regularly working with the Home Office, for instance. So they are acutely aware of the problems that practitioners are facing, and they bring these experiences into the classroom conversations. Many of your assessments as well are designed such that you're able to basically step into the shoes of a practitioner, and you can already test your skills, your analytical skills, and your conceptual understanding in applying your knowledge to tackle real-world problems. Of course, by studying at UCL, and Kate has mentioned that, you are studying at a world-leading research institution. Why is that beneficial for you? Well, first of all, your professors and lecturers are sharing their latest research insights with you in class, so you're often the first to learn about their work before any other audience. In addition to that, as Kevin mentioned, if you're doing the MSc, you will be doing a dissertation project. And at our department, that is an empirical study. You will be working with a faculty member on that study, and so you're able to collaborate with a world-leading scientist and develop also your own research skills. You might be interested in some of the topics that students on this program have worked on for their dissertation. So for instance, one of the students that I supervised analyzed Telegram channels of anti-government extremist groups in Germany, and then used the metadata of these channels to predict offline violent protest activities. I've also supervised a student who explored human trafficking strategies of different terrorist groups to understand whether regulation and policies need to be changed to better protect victims and survivors of human trafficking. Now, moving on to some of the practicalities of this degree. So yes, this MSc and also postgraduate diploma can as well be studied either in person on campus or remotely. So you can sign up as a distance learning student. And this is often attractive to those who are working part-time or full-time, or who are not able to relocate to London. The curriculum itself is also customizable. So you are expected to take a set of 4 core modules, perspectives on extremism and terrorism, and then the foundations module, designing and doing research module, and quantitative methods module that Kevin also mentioned. Again, if you're doing the MSc, you will be doing the dissertation as well. In addition to that, you can pick 4 optional modules, more or less from the full range of the module catalog at the department. So you can really create your own learning journey aligned with your personal interests and career aspiration. What I would say is that for those students who want to strictly focus on extremism and terrorism, there are 4 modules that have been perfectly designed for this. So the online extremism and hate crime module, which I teach, is really unique. I'm not aware of any other university that teaches a similar course, as is the assessing extremism risk module. So this is a module focused on violent extremist and terrorist risk assessment, also exclusive to UCL. and then prevention and disruption, and the terrorism module, which is actually run by public policy, so gives you a slightly different perspective on the matter. But if you do want to branch out more, as I said, you can pick from the full range of the module catalog. So if you want to explore organizing serious crime, you might add the perspectives on organized crime module. You might want to also look more into cyber. So the cybercrime and cybersecurity module would be an interest to you. And then if you want to develop specific analytical and methodological skills, there's a range of advanced modules available: simulation, crime mapping, etc. This customizable curriculum opens up pathways to a wide range of careers. So our graduates are working as analysts, both in counterterrorism policing, but also in law enforcement more generally. They're working at international organizations, but also security consultancies, in corporate roles, for instance, in banking. Several of our graduates have gone on to work in junior and senior management at the Home Office, Department of Defense, and comparable departments and ministries in other countries. And with the passing of the 2023 Online Safety Act, our graduates are also equipped to work as countering and preventing violent extremism experts for technology companies. You may or may not know that all social media and search services with a sizable UK user base are now required to complete regular risk assessments of their services. This is a very comprehensive procedure, and our degree prepares students perfectly to fill these roles, or indeed to work for Ofcom, who is overseeing all of this work. Graduates are also now working for non-governmental organizations in violence prevention more broadly and in social services. And of course, there are always a few students who continue to stay in academia and they complete a PhD with us or also at other universities, or they work at think tanks such as the Institute for Strategic Dialogue. A couple of words on eligibility, and then also I give, much like Kevin, some tips for your application. So we are inviting students who have a upper second class degree, so 2-1 or better, in a number of relevant disciplines. They're all listed on the website. They include criminology, international studies, political science, war studies. The list is quite long. And if you do not have a 2-1, or you indeed have no first degree, but you have 5 years or more of relevant professional experience, you are invited to apply as well. And again, relevant professional experience includes law enforcement, armed forces, the security industry more broadly. If you're not sure if your experience would be considered, please just contact me and I'm happy to advise. I do also want to emphasize, much like Kevin, that the personal statement is really important for us. And the personal statement is not the place where you have to repeat what is on your CV or what is also mentioned in your transcript. Here we want to see that you understand what this course is about, and that you know what you want to gain, what you want to get out of this course. So this is the kind of information that we're looking for, because ultimately we want to make sure that you are applying for a course that is aligned with your interests and that we match. Yeah. So this would be my one advice. Make sure your personal statement clearly states why you want to study this and what you expect. With this being said, I come to an end, so we have enough time to cover the other programs as well. I thank you for your attention, look forward to your questions, and then I also look forward to your applications. Thank you.
checking that you can see my slides and you can see and hear me.
Yes.
Thank you, Sandy. Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is James French, and I'm the programme convener for the MSc in Crime and Forensic Science here at UCL. I want to start this short presentation with a quote from the National Academy of Sciences report into forensic science from 15 years ago in 2009. The report was concerned with looking at the state of forensic science, commenting on the accuracy of the methods that were used, and it was a pretty damning report. And this quote stands out as being particularly critical. Effectively, the basis on which we were doing forensic science was being criticised. And this is at the heart of our mission statement for our research and teaching here at UCL. We aim to set about to improve this. We feel that we do this in a distinctly interdisciplinary way. Our Centre for the Forensic Sciences brings together researchers from across UCL and beyond, and this is reflected in the teaching and the research that we do in the department. Our academics and our students come from a wide range of disciplinary backgrounds. We've got lawyers, chemists, computer scientists, criminologists, as well as forensic scientists on our programme, plenty of psychologists as well. This is not your traditional forensic science degree. As has been mentioned with other programs, we do things slightly differently here, and we're very proud to say that. The Crime and Forensic Science, MSc in Crime and Forensic Science, is a unique program both nationally and internationally. It's the only forensic science program offered by a top 10 university. It's the only program in the UK that seeks to produce the next generation of forensic science decision makers rather than just laboratory analysts. And it's the only program that offers research-led teaching that addresses the interpretation and the presentation of evidence. The people who do the research in this area are the people who are going to be teaching you. There's a big emphasis on what science is, what crime is, and how forensic science should fit into that framework around investigation and detection. We take a holistic approach from crime scene to court, so we don't just focus on what goes in the laboratory. We chart the journey of evidence from the crime scene right through to the courtroom. So traditionally, there's lots of focus in research and particularly in teaching on processes at the crime scene, and particularly on analytical techniques in the laboratory. But we focus on the whole forensic science process, as I mentioned. We recognise that forensic science is not only multidisciplinary, but it's also a process from crime scene to court. Our evidence that we discover at the crime scene has to be analysed, those results interpreted, and ultimately presented in a court of law. There can be some experimental work, and you will learn some techniques at the crime scene and in the lab, but the degree doesn't train you to be a proficient lab technician. That's the sort of training that you might get on the job if you start post-graduation. But instead, it will help you to understand the concepts and theories that underpin forensic science as an academic discipline. It will equip you with a wide range of quantitative and qualitative research skills. It will inform your critical thinking so that you can be an intelligent consumer of forensic science and forensic evidence. And even more than that, it'll equip you with the skills to conducting good science more generally. So it's very transferable. Our programme is recognised by a wide range of employers, and we produce excellent graduates who are top flight performers in a range of fields in forensic science and beyond. So onto the course content. Some of these module titles will be familiar to you by now. There are some core modules which everyone takes. Some are shared with our MSc program, other MSc programs such as Foundations of Security and Crime Science. But understanding and interpreting forensic evidence, which is a module that I lead, and a module called Law and Expert Evidence run by colleagues in the Laws faculty, they're bespoke to this program. You're able to choose from a range of optional modules to add a distinctive flavour to your degree depending on your interests. Some of these, I should mention, have prerequisites. You need to be able to demonstrate some background in biology, for example, on a couple of the modules. But there are detailed descriptions of all of these on the module catalogue web pages. So I would direct you to those. So rather than go into detail here, we're short on time, and you can check these out in your own time. I wanted to highlight a number of things that are going on right now, this week on the MSc, that our students on the current cohort are engaging in this week. So I'm going to try and highlight some of the exciting things about the MSc in the next couple of minutes. You can read a lot more about the course content or ask questions if you have them. So at the moment, in term 2, we have our very popular CSI module, Practices of Crime Scene Investigation module running. A lot of our students elect to take this module. It equips you with the skills that you need to examine a crime scene, to collect and recover and secure and package different items of evidence, right from tools right through to DNA evidence. And leads up to an end of term assessment where our students go in and enter a mock crime scene. They collect and they report and document their evidence, and it results in them giving their evidence in a mock courtroom and being cross-examined by their examiners who are posing as barristers. I'm one of those examiners, and so that's a module that people enjoy. We also have, this ran yesterday, we have a module on understanding and interpreting forensic evidence, which is a core module. And we have a module on a workshop session on cell site analysis running this week. So this is understanding the use of evidence that's captured by mobile network operators, so like Vodafone and O2, that capture billing data so that they can charge you and I for the calls and the messaging and the data that we do on our phones. But it's also a stamp in space and time of our activity using our phones, and it can be useful for forensic purposes and for investigation and intelligence. So we're working with some experts who come into the classroom to show how that works in the real world. So that's been going on this week. And we have students working on their dissertation proposals this week. So you have to do a dissertation as part of this MSc. And the dissertation is a highlight for many of our graduates. It's a 4-month project supervised by an expert in the field. So you're partnered with an academic who works in the area that you're interested in. And our students conduct a huge range of projects. People have carried out experiments on blood, fibers, fingerprints, persistent studies involving different materials. Some have worked on cell site data that I mentioned previously. Number of projects on decision making and cognitive bias, and we have a wide range of different projects, and you're encouraged to explore an area that you are interested in, and we will help you craft your own research project and help you carry it out over the summer months. In addition, just bespoke for this program, we run a research seminar series for our MSc students. So every week during term time, terms 1 and 2, we have a wide range of speakers from UCL, from industry. So we've had people from the Home Office, from different forensic service providers, different police forces, including the Met Police and the Major Police Force in Sweden, researchers from other universities, from Oxford, from Edinburgh, Queen Mary, Teesside. They come and speak about specific topics in forensic science. They're designed to complement what's going on the taught program, but also go beyond the course. They're a great opportunity for networking and to engage with academics and practitioners from outside UCL. Many people have come up with dissertation topics on the back of these seminars and have actually gone on to pursue career opportunities as well. We're delighted to welcome back some of our alumni who have gone on to work in the field back to talk to our current students. So you know a little bit about what we do, who we are. This is who we're looking for. So like some of the other programs, you need to have a bachelor's degree in a scientific discipline equivalent to a UK 2-1. We do interpret science quite broadly. As I mentioned at the start, you know, we've got psychologists, we've even got lawyers, geographers, computer scientists. So you need to just be able to demonstrate how your background applies to forensic science. Alternatively, you can demonstrate that you've got 5 years or more relevant professional work experience within the field. And tips for applications, again, with the personal statement, the tailoring to the course is really important. We want to know why this is the right course for you and why you are the right applicant for this course. What is it about your background and your interest that aligns particularly well with what we do here at UCL? Second, we need to have at least one academic reference from you. So we want to hear from somebody who has taught you at degree level, ideally, if you are applying on the basis of your previous qualification. Okay, so that, I think we're just about to time. Please pop any questions in the chat if you have them. I'll be around for the Q&A at the end. Thank you. I'll stop sharing my screen now.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Has it gone on to slideshow?
No, not yet.
No.
Oh, it has.
Thank you. Thanks, Sandy. Yeah, welcome to the Graduate Open Evening. I come last, but hopefully not the least. I'm going to be talking about the MSc in Policing and the PG Diploma in Policing. My name is Jyoti Belur. I'm the program convener for this program, and I've been running this for the past few years. Why policing? The MSc in Policing is intended for people who are working either in law enforcement as police officers or as staff, or in the security and intelligence agencies. We're seeing increasingly challenges in a global world that the police are facing in every country. So whilst crime is going up or going down, social unrest and social problems are increasing, all of which the police have to face as the first responders. So our MSc is trying to help and equip people who are dealing with these issues to understand these problems and come up with more scientific, more evidence-based, more critical solutions to these problems. We are also hoping to equip our students to take on leadership roles in industries that are related to policing, law enforcement, and security. We believe that by developing research thinking skills for people who are in decision-making roles is the best way to equip the police to tackle the global issues that they are facing today. Now, these are also transferable skills, so they don't just apply to policing, they apply to a number of other areas and a number of other problem-solving situations that can be taken across. We use a crime science approach to policing. So it's again, as my colleagues have mentioned about their programs, how their programs are different from programs offered elsewhere. Our program, again, brings this unique crime science flavor to it, which then allows people to think differently. At the Jill Dando Institute, some of the world-class research that has been done by my colleagues is part of the basic policing curriculum that the College of Policing have put forward for all police officers joining policing in the UK. So we are, again, leaders in this field, and we provide a unique perspective to policing. How is this degree relevant to anyone who wants to be working in this space? Well, this is, again, a multidisciplinary program. So you don't just have policing experts, you've got people from all disciplines contributing to this program. And the program has been developed in close contact with practitioners in law enforcement, security, as well as intelligence agencies. So it's very, very targeted and shaped to address the needs and the challenges that these practitioners are facing in their day-to-day practice. We think this program is relevant and suitable for those who want to pursue a career in law enforcement, in security, intelligence, or research and related industries. It also is for people who want to just develop their leadership skills. The aim of the program is to integrate research and education into policing, to improve efficiency, to provide more ethical, more thoughtful, more service-oriented policing. It's an interdisciplinary approach to solving complex problems. The aim of the program and all the students who come onto this program through their research degree, through their research projects, will actually contribute to the development of an evidence base that will show the pathway for policing in the future. So we want to contribute through this program to the evidence-based profession that policing aims to be. We also aim to address not just challenges of policing in the UK or the Western world, but our reach is to address global challenges. So the global South and the global North, those are the kinds of issues we are looking at addressing in our program. Finally, we want to enable current and future leaders in this area of policing. Our intended outcomes. So if you come onto this program, what you will gain is a sophisticated understanding of the nature of policing challenges and the kinds and different approaches to how we might go about resolving them. You will learn to apply scientific principles to tackle law enforcement and security problems and contribute to the existing evidence base, because you will be equipped with research skills and you will have the opportunity to apply those research skills to real-world problems in policing, to real-world data, and try and resolve some of them. And all of these will help develop crucial transferable skills so that in the future, if you want to move away into allied industries or indeed something quite different, you will carry these critical thinking skills and problem-solving skills with you. So how is the program structured? We've got the option of either on campus or distance learning. You can have a full-time program, or you can do this program over 5 years in a modular, flexible fashion. The program consists of 8 taught modules and a dissertation, as with the other MSc programs in the department. And as I said, it could be a full-time or flexible modular over 5 years. The design is such that you've got 5 compulsory modules and 3 optional modules along with the MSc in the research project. So if you want to, as Kevin explained, if you want to just do a PG diploma, you can do the 8 taught modules for 120 credits. And if you want the degree, then you do the research project, which is worth 60 credit. So as with all the other master's programs, the foundations of crime science and doing research in crime science are the 2 modules that are common across all MScs. But what the 3 modules that are compulsory and bespoke for this particular program are police and the public, models of policing for crime reduction, and ethical policing. Again, our stance towards ethical policing will include not just traditional ethical issues, but all the new challenges that policing is facing with the introduction of AI, of data-led technologies, of algorithms and predictive policing, facial recognition technology, and all the ethical issues that come alongside the use of this new and modern methods of policing. The optional modules you could choose between, there's a huge range, as again with the other MSc programs, you can customize your program to develop specific skills. So if you, in the law enforcement area, if you're focusing on organized crime, you can choose relevant modules, or human trafficking, or online, extremism, or indeed some of the more traditional preventing crime and crime science modules. So there is, again, a huge number of options available for you. Again, all of these are taught by world-leading experts and researchers in their own field. Career destinations are our graduates in previous years have gone on to become analysts in counterterrorism, law enforcement, consultancy. Many of our students have already been senior police officers or middle-ranking police officers who've then gone on to take on more senior leadership roles. We've had students who've gone on to join the civil service, working with the Home Office, Cabinet Office, Ministry of Justice, those kinds of places, or international organizations, NGOs, and then a number of our students, a number of our actually practitioners have come back to do a PhD with us because they have seen the value of applying, combining theory and practice. Who are we looking for? Well, the requirements for joining this program are a 2-2 in an undergraduate degree in a relevant subject. And again, we have a large number of subjects that, because we are so multidisciplinary, we do accept applicants from a range of subjects. Our ideal candidates would either be serving police officers or law enforcement officers, police staff, but also motivated students who genuinely want to either go on to work in policing or to assist or to even be friendly critics of policing. So we want students with a degree, or if you don't have a degree, but you have 5 years of relevant operational experience, we'd be very happy to have you on the course. I would like to join my colleagues in stressing that when you're applying for this particular MSc, please make your personal statement relevant to the program. Show how you are interested in this particular program, how your background or your research interests or career ambitions would be furthered if you did this program. So we would really like to hear from you why you think this program is right for you and why you are right for the program. Thank you for your attention. I'll now hand over back to Kate, who will talk about some of the other career destinations and options that are available to you. Thank you. Over to you, Kate.
Thank you, Jyoti. I think what we'll actually do is I'd like to make sure you have the opportunity to hear a student experience. So I would really like to, if that's okay with Katie, we can invite her to speak next, and then I can wrap up with the career destinations and some information about the bursaries at the end. So Katie, I think I can see that you're with us. Are you ready to talk about your experience? Thank you very much for joining us to do this this evening. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. I just need to share my screen. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Can everyone see this? All right.
We can, Katie. It's we can see a Mentimeter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Okay. So, hi everyone. My name is Katie, and I'm currently a student on the Crime and Forensic Science Masters. Before I want to begin my short presentation, I just wanted to gauge a little bit of the audience. So, if you don't mind filling in this Mentimeter code, or you can also scan the QR code. Yeah, so I'll just give you a few seconds to take a photo or fill it in. Yeah, okay. Yes. just wanted to know where everyone is from. So I don't know how many people is in the call, but okay. Aiming for at least 5, and then I'll move on to the next slide. Okay. Alright, so already quite a large distribution. I myself, I'm British Chinese, so yes. Okay, then the next one. So what was your undergraduate degree in? Yeah, so I see psychology is a very popular option. I myself also came from a psychology background. Yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to know what kind of aspects of university and course experience are most important for you. So what do you look for when you're deciding which university to go to, which course you want to study? It can be as short or as long as you want. Okay, so seems like the focus right now is a lot on practical aspects and applications into the real world. Employability, this. Yeah, these are really nice responses. Okay, thank you everyone. I will go back now to the original presentation. Yeah, so while this loads a bit about myself, I actually came originally from a very, very different background. I played piano since I was 4, and I first went to music school, and then I got my bachelor's and my master's in a conservatory, studying music, specializing in piano. However, during my studies, I was always very interested in academics, so particularly focused on human behavior and also criminology. So while I was studying for the conservatory, I also started applying for universities, and there in Amsterdam I got a degree in psychology as my bachelor's. So this is just to let you know that you don't need to have a very specific focus on crime science, and in my case in forensic science. I came from a very different background, but I was very interested, and during my psychology degree I also tried to do extracurricular activities that enlarged this interest. So for example, I would take courses in, we actually had a course in crime science. I also took an extra course in law, for example. So it's okay to just jump into this degree without knowing too much about it, from my personal experience. So James already outlined the compulsory modules and optional modules for the course, but I just wanted to select a few that I particularly enjoyed in my study so far. So in the larger modules, the compulsory modules, you actually will take them with all the other students within the crime and security department. So it's a nice chance to meet everyone within the departments. Everyone will be doing different masters. It was always very interesting to hear people's answers and discussions during the lectures. And then for the optional modules, which is what you do in term 2, there you can select which ones are most interesting for you. So I chose forensic geoscience. At first, I had no idea what forensic geoscience was. I didn't even know that was a thing. But now I can honestly say, after that entire course, I have never looked at soils and mud the same way. It's very, very interesting. Every week we explored different techniques in analyzing like geoscience. So for example, we had forensic entomology, which was the study of how insects can be used to assist crime investigation. That was very interesting. We also looked at forensic palynology, which was focused on pollen. So yeah, and now I'm really excited because in the second term, I can go into the practices of crime scene investigation. So in this, we learn about how to collect evidence, how to have a plan when you enter a crime scene, know exactly which evidence is important, how to package it. You also get your own suits, which is quite fun, and you can enter like mock crime scenes, and you walk through it. And then you also practice giving an expert testimony. So this course is very practical for the people who are interested to apply your skills into the real world. I think this course is really something for you. And I also chose forensic biology and DNA interpretation. For this course, you had to write a motivation to show whether you had some background knowledge in biology or not. I just did my biology in A-level, and then during my psychology degree, I also had some biology modules. But again, I think with your motivation, if you show that you have a strong interest, that you really do extracurricular activities, focus on this, then I think this one is also very interesting to do. And in forensic biology, we look into like analyzing DNA, for example, the different biases that comes with it. So it's all very interesting. I would pick more modules, but my timetable won't allow it. But I would really encourage you, even if you don't choose the Crime and Forensic Science Masters, to look at all the optional modules that your Masters has to offer, because UCL really provides very, very interesting optional modules that comes with guest lecturers who are experts in their field. So I would really, I would start there if you're ever doubting which one to choose. So how does the course structure at UCL work for me? So UCL actually provide a very wide range of teaching. So we have lectures every week, pretty typical. It's in a large classroom. Like I said, in the first term, you're in larger lecture halls because it's with everyone from the crime and security department. But that's also very nice because it's very interactive with the teacher. Most week you have different lecturers because it's focused on different parts. So for example, in foundations of crime science, you have different lecturers come in that are more experts in their field. So for example, I remember there was someone who came in to talk about terrorism. That was very interesting. For seminars, they also happen weekly. Those are in smaller groups, so you have a chance to meet people and to also engage more in class discussions. So in the seminars, it was very, very useful because you would take the large ideas that were covered in the lectures and you would discuss them more in depth with your teachers and also with your classmates. Workshops is something similar, except I experienced it more with the statistics. I know most people are a bit scared of statistics, but that's why the workshops were really great, because you really felt like you had almost a one-on-one interaction with the teacher, because you would go through the workshop assignments that were given each week, and you can really go through and talk about it. Practical, like I mentioned in the crime scene investigation, that's really fun to do. I personally haven't started it yet because we just started, but I'm very excited to go into the mock crime scenes and also to give the expert testimonials. But there are also lots of other courses that offer practicals. And guest lectures, I think this is one of my highlights so far studying at UCL, because we get really, really interesting guest lecturers, not just teachers who are studying UCL, but also from like all over the country. They come in. I know for the crime and forensic science, every Thursdays we also have a specific guest lecturers. So for example, we have policemen from the Met Police come in and talk about fingerprint analysis. I also remember in my geoscience course, we had Dr. Martin Hall, who's an expert in forensic entomology, and he came in and he showed us all the little maggots in glass jars, and it was fun. So I really enjoyed the guest lectures. And then for your individual studying, we have readings every week, so they really cover thoroughly what is talked about in the lectures. And the exams is also varied, because I know in-person exams is not for everyone, but I promise that it's really not that bad. The lecturers are always very good at giving you as much information as you need, and they're very responsive with the questions, so it hasn't scared me that much. And also the coursework is very doable to do, because it's in a field that you're interested in. You have a lot of references and literature you can look up, so it's okay. And the discussion forum, I had that experience with the foundations of security and crime science. I think this is a really nice way of engaging in the materials that we've been given, because it really gives you a topic, and you will write out like almost kind of like in a debate format. So you would put your opinion on it, and then you hear other students' opinions, and then you bounce off each other. It was very fun to read other students' opinions and to react to them. So yeah, I think it's a really engaging way of presenting the course materials and what to learn. What is it like being a student in UCL with all the studying aside? Well, we have really, really nice libraries. We have a lot of libraries. I'm still working my way through campus, studying at different libraries, and within one library you have so many different study spots as well. But it's great. It's really nice to be able to just sit down in either a loud environment, because we have study spots with other students as well, so you can do group work and chat, or you can also have like really silent pods where it's super quiet, but it's very good for concentration, I guess. So we have a very wide range of libraries, which I really enjoy it. We also have super nice cafes. We even have our own little pizza shop in the campus that always has a very long line, but I can completely understand why. It's very friendly. One of my personal favorite lunch spots is in the print room cafe, where you can get a jacket potato with cheese and beans for just £2. Very friendly, but it's a large portion. I really like that. But also cafes are just really nice place to go and relax after a lecture, after coursework, to hang out with your friends, to eat, drink. We also have lots of bars at the on campus. But there's also a karaoke bar that hosts events weekly. So yeah, there's a lot of places to go to hang out with your friends and classmates. I think most people here are interested in the postgrad. When I first joined UCL, I was a little bit scared that I wouldn't quite fit in, because I'm here for my master's. And also I'm slightly older than most people, because I already did some degrees before. But UCL really caters to that. So they have a lot of events that are focused just on postgrad, if you want to just meet people around your age or within your same interests. So for example, we have a postgrad quiz that happens every Wednesdays at the Institute Bar. I know that there's like postgrad running events, postgrad music societies. So there's a lot to do, even if you just want to stay within the postgrad group. And also at UCL, we have such a wide range of, we call them like committees, clubs. I remember the welcome fair. It took me 2 hours to see even like half of the clubs that they have to offer. It's really such a wide range. My personal favorite, a little bit biased, I joined the UCL Music Society. So they hold concerts, you can rehearse, you can form groups. They have a classical department, but they also have a jazz department, so it's really up to you. I also joined the UCL Detective Society, so they hold like murder mystery events once a month, and you can gather together and solve crimes together. I know that there's a Taylor Swift Society, there is a Bubble Tea Society, a Harry Potter Society, running. Whatever you can think of, there probably is a society for it, or you can probably make up your own as well. They're always accepting new applications. So being at UCL, it's definitely not boring. You have so much things to do, and I still also have a lot to explore. Some tips and tricks. So right now you're in the application stage. I would first recommend to just do a lot of research. For example, going through the different course modules, reading up, see which ones you're interested in. There is a lot on the website. It's very detailed. I would really recommend going through that. Also, don't forget to ask your university professors to write references, because I think you need 2 of them, and it's better not to stress too much about it. And I think motivation is probably the largest aspect I would focus on. So if you write, for example, in your motivation letter, like if you just really show that you have an interest in this field, what you've done in your life that shows you have an interest, why you're suited for this degree, you can also look up the modules and say which ones you're interested in. Just some advice. I think, like you saw at the beginning, everyone's from such diverse backgrounds and from such diverse places. There is definitely a place for you if you're just motivated to join. And then once you're in the school, this is pretty standard readings. I really enjoy my course, so the readings I actually don't mind doing, but make sure you plan. Make sure you go to the lectures, because then that's also a nice chance to just meet people, to enjoy being in London, because it's only for 1 year. And also we have the student union, so make sure that you have time for yourself, for your hobbies and your interests. And then you'll really enjoy your year here. And my final slide is what's after for me specifically, so how UCL has prepared me to think about my future. I'm still not super sure exactly what I want to do yet, but I definitely have a lot of ideas. So I'm going to go back again on the forensic entomology, because that really blew my mind. I also did not know that was a thing. But I reached out to Martin, who came to give the guest lecture, and he used to work as an entomologist at the Natural History Museum. So now I actually volunteer at the Natural History Museum. So UCL really provides good connections for you. And I'm really grateful for that. So I go now to the museum, I help them sort blowflies. And I'm thinking maybe in the future I would like to conduct a research looking more into forensic entomology. I also reached out to the London Met Police, because UCL has a very close collection with them. They also have lots of guest lecturers that come from there to give courses. So now I also volunteer at the Met Police. I help them do like weapons sweeping, for example. So that's when you go into communities and you try to find weapons that may be hidden to keep the community safe, or handing out flyers, just little bits and pieces, but it's always a good starting point, because you need to start somewhere and then you can grow. So maybe I would like to do something there, and also maybe I would like to do an internship in Interpol, but that's something for future Katie to think about. But this is where UCL has given me to start with first. So if you have any questions for me, you can reach out to me on my Instagram, and I'll be very, very happy to answer you anything about student life or the course. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Katie. That was really, really a helpful profile of what it's like being a student at UCL, and we're really grateful for your enthusiasm and really thinking through how to give some really good advice to the students about what's on offer here. So thank you very much. We need to wrap up because obviously we're running out of time. So can I just invite everybody, please, to have a look at any of the to put questions into the Q&A, or to please flag any questions that you have, and if you can do that, and my colleagues, please, if you can have a look at those, maybe you can start answering those, because I think you can just do it by on a one-to-one basis in the chat. If you can, my colleagues, do that, maybe I can quickly show you a slide about bursaries just while we're wrapping up. But if anybody wants to raise their hand and ask a question by talking to us directly, that's fine too. So I'll just invite you to I think I can see we've got 3 in the Q&A. So if I can see that James is answering a question about forensic science, I can see Sandy is answering one about applications. do you have any courses on crime science and mental health or neurodiversity? That's a really interesting question. The answer is we haven't got anything specifically on that, but obviously mental health and neurodiversity are a really important element of looking at both vulnerability and security. And so I would say that if you'll find that those are definitely things and topics that we address in different places within the curriculum, but no, we haven't got any specifically devoted course to that. Having said that, as I said, because we are very conscious that we need to make sure that we're looking at cutting edge issues and problems, it's definitely something that you'll have some debates about while you're here with a student, as a student with us at MSc level. Can I just very quickly, because I know everybody has been listening for a long time, if I can just if I can share this final slide, just to tell you a little bit about bursaries, which we haven't covered yet. Our bursaries are quite an important thing for you to consider, because it might be a way of helping you fund your way through the studies. So what we have from the point of view of of course, what's happened is I've ended up going to the very start of the slides. Let me see if I can go backwards. No, I can't. Just bear with me 1 second. So yes, scholarships and bursaries. You might consider going for one of our scholarships and bursaries. There's first of all UCL ones that you can apply for. There's ones that, for example, focus on India and access for students from India. There's also the Global Masters Scholarship and the UCL Masters Bursary. They are both a means sort of tested scholarship ideas. So these are for people in hardship, but they might be worth having a look at because many people who might not realise that they qualify will qualify. There's also our own scholarships, and this is also something to consider applying for. These are ones that we can that we actually decide on as a department at departmental level, and we have up to £10,000 that we are able to offer in terms of student scholarships and bursaries. The deadline is 30th of April. Do make sure that you don't miss that deadline. What we tend to do is give some small, we'll divide that over a number of different bursaries and a number of different courses. So that's just something to consider in your application. And I think just finally to let you know that there are also we've also got other events where you can get involved from the point of view of staying in touch with us. First of all, we've got please do check on all our socials. We've got many different social media sites, like an Instagram one, Facebook, etc. And we always put things that are exciting to us on those, so you can get involved with events before you come to us. And also we've got the in-person open day on Saturday, as well as another virtual open evening on the 28th of January, where we'll be happy to answer any of your questions at that point as well. So let me just stop there. And have we managed to do the Q&A sessions? Has everybody managed to have their questions answered? Let me have a look. We've got no open questions. Is there anybody who would like to ask any final questions that we haven't covered? No? Okay. Great. Thank you ever so much, everybody, for coming along and listening to what we have on offer. Thank you very much to all the staff for coming along, and to Katie for giving her view on what it's like to be a student here. Thank you to Raphael for organising. And please do just keep in touch with us, and any questions, please do email. We're very friendly. We want to make sure that you've got a real understanding of everything you need to at this point in your journey. So we're looking forward to seeing you, hopefully, in the new academic year. And as I said, please do keep in touch if there's anything specifically that you'd like to ask us. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Kate.
Okay. Good evening. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. See.
Yeah, it's been okay. It's always longer than it should be, but there we've got through, so that's really good, isn't it? Yeah.
This ties me not succeeding, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All right then, I'll see you soon.
Okay, see you soon.
Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.